Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core 4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
It's just chilling. Hello, peoples. Happy Wednesday to you all. We're recording this pod a day early because Lions got Monday Night Football, and we were going to be sleepy for you on Tuesday. So we're giving you the best us. Now, before we get into today's podcast, if you could please do us one small, minute favor before we go on and talking about everything. There's a subscribe button either on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Audible, on all that stuff. If you could press it, that'll keep helping us grow the podcast through you guys, and we can keep on cranking this out. And then also, if you think this would help somebody, if you know somebody that's having trouble getting in shape or they've tried everything and they don't know what to do, send this to it, share it with them. You can send it through a text message, just copy the link and drop it in there. So that way we can help other people. And when you subscribe, you'll get notified right away when we drop a new podcast episode, so you don't have to scroll back weeks and weeks, and you'll be up to date on everything. Now, for today, guys, we're going to talk about probably the most confusing thing when people try to get in shape, and it's not going to the gym. It's number one, eating, and number two, make sure that you're eating the right stuff. Now, if I told you, if you want to lose 20 pounds and I said, go grocery shopping tomorrow, and you said, great. And I said, pick out all the stuff that you think is healthy that's going to get you great results. And you go, okay. So you fill up your cart. Let's say you got some apples and you got some broccoli. And then you go to where like the protein bars are. You pick out a bunch of protein bars. Maybe you go to where the protein shakes are. You get some protein shakes and you're like, okay, I think this is pretty good. And if you were to take it to one of your coaches or one of the people that are training you and they looked at it, I can almost guarantee that half of the food that you think is healthy or good for you isn't. So today we're going to talk about kind of the behind the scenes, how companies kind of trick you into buying their product and give you stuff that you think is healthy, when in actuality it's a whole bunch of garbage. And one of the reasons that this happens, guys, is these companies, whether they're, and this isn't all companies, but let's say it's somebody making protein bars because everybody knows what protein bars are. They obviously want them to taste as good as humanly possible, right? So you keep coming back and you keep buying their product. So they'll put on the top of the protein bar on the label that faces outward, they'll say this has 20 grams of protein or 30 grams of protein, you know, the muscle building bar or the results bar or whatever it is. But you'll flip that thing around and you'll see that it might have 10, 20, 30 grams of sugar, could have 300, 400 calories, and even more so, you look at the ingredient list, and there is 15, 20, 30 different ingredients packed into that protein bar that once you eat it and it hits your belly and starts to break down, your body's like, what the hell is this? This is just a giant bomb of preservatives, of chemicals, and I don't know how to process this stuff. And when you eat that, you know, especially on a daily basis, this is what causes a lot of inflammation, what causes a lot of bloating. And then these people are like, well, I'm eating everything good. I'm eating, you know, healthy stuff or a protein bar or a protein shake. But the majority of it is filled with complete crap. And again, guys, you know, there's some of these like shakes or companies that you're almost just better off having a milkshake right when you wake up and just having a chicken breast because of the amount of sugar, calories, carbs that they pump into this stuff. So today we're going to kind of peel back the curtain on what to focus on if you are trying to get healthy, what to focus on in terms of protein bars, in terms of protein shakes, and things like that.
Yeah, it's ultimately fake food is what it gets down to. Everything turns and grows into this fake produced food. Even something like a bag of chips has a ton of preservatives in it to increase the shelf life so that it can sit there for longer so that they can make more money without having to produce more. And then it can sit in our cabinets longer and longer and longer. It's like, it's not stuff that we're supposed to be eating. And
Tastes
it
like
might be
food, looks kind of like food, but
right. And it's the problem is there's no direct result. If we took a bite of one of these Doritos and went, "Oh, this is wrong. I'm immediately sick. I immediately don't feel good," then that would be like the no-brainer. and we would stop eating them, but we don't. The problem is it's a 20-year delay on us. We are getting those negative effects, but 20 years from now. So the immediate no, we don't get. And then all we do is get more addicted, because one of the biggest properties of sugar, and God knows what else is in these, is just it's this constant needing more, needing more, needing more, and it's just this rat race that we're literally being poisoned on purpose for money's sake. It's literally happening. Our food, and we've talked about this, our food in America is illegal in different countries because of the ingredients they have. That's crazy to me. Your food is illegal. Think about that. Your
Yeah.
food is not deemed safe enough to be eaten, and 150 other countries around the world, whatever it is. Like, it's, come on. There's something to be alarming. Now, I get it. Do I love Doritos? Yes. Have I had Doritos? Yes. Have I had Doritos recently? Yes. Do I eat them every day? Absolutely not. Do I make sure that it's something that I don't eat every day? Yes. Am I giving it to my son? No. Like, I don't know. There's just this. There's underlying, like, the once something starts getting unreal, it's not real anymore. It just, you have to scratch your head a little bit, and I think that's the best way to look at things, is going, even though this isn't immediately affecting me, I'm not eating a Dorito and gaining 10 pounds and getting diabetes. But 20 years from now, if I keep up these habits, I'm going to be 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight. I'm going to have all of these health effects. And it's because of our food in large part. We're just now getting the sample size. We're looking at society, and everyone's overweight, and everyone has this, and this is hard, and this is hard, and people can't do this anymore. It's like, I wonder how much of it has to do with the fact that we've been eating shit forever, because it's just, in the grand scheme, just recently become so mass produced and mass processed and yada 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 yada. So
Well, and
why?
there's no real nutritional value behind it. It's
Right.
just stuff that's kind of filling your belly for the sake of filling your belly,
Right. It's like
but
eating
it does
peanuts.
it does nothing for you. And I'll give you guys an example. We started a big 6-week weight loss challenge at our gyms last week, and the first week we told everybody, before you start going into counting macros or calories or whatever it is, just clear all the crap off of your table in terms of food and focus 100% on whole foods. And we want you guys to do this for 2 weeks. So, easiest way to remember whole foods is food that basically is just one ingredient. Broccoli is broccoli. It's not broccoli and it's got 10 other things in it. Steak is steak, chicken is chicken, an apple is an apple.
Yep.
um, or stuff that
Avocado.
you could technically walk outside and find it someplace and eat it. So these aren't things like bread or tortillas or any of that stuff. So just single word whole food things that you can eat. And it's stuff that your body recognizes. It doesn't cause inflammation, doesn't cause bloating, doesn't cause these huge insulin spikes and then crashes, or makes you want to have 10 more bags of it in a row. And just from that alone, this is, again, without counting calories, without counting macros, just focusing on whole foods and kind of giving them portion sizes. We have people lose 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds,
They
3
look
inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches in just a week, less than a week, from Monday
people
to Friday morning.
people literally look different already.
Yeah.
I saw, I don't want to say them by name because I listen to this podcast and the gym members do, but I literally, at 9:30, she walked in and she was on my team and she's lost 5 pounds, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited." She looks different. She
Yeah.
looks, 1 week. I see her every single day. I have for 6, 7 months, however long she's been a member. She looks different immediately from just getting, you know what I mean? It's not real. It's like if we were just pumping water into our gas tanks, half water, half gas tank in our car, and then one day we went full gas. It's like, oh, it's different now. It fits. The shape fits.
Yeah.
Rowing square shape into a square peg into a circle hole, it doesn't work. Okay, but you get the right one that fits, and you go, oh, this is the machine. I don't have to have heart disease at 35. I don't have to. I just need to do what I want. But anyway, yeah, she already looks different, and I'm excited to see people tonight. There's a lot, ironically, of people on my team that are in the afternoon crew at the gym. So it was kind of sweet. I was like, oh my god, this is already man. If I'm already, it's been 1 week of you just eating real food. And again, like you said, this isn't a swearing off all carbs. This isn't counting your macros to the T. This isn't keto. This isn't whatever fad. This isn't working out, 75 hard, 90 minutes a day outside, getting sun, blah, blah. No, it's literally prioritizing some moving, go to the gym, get some steps, drink water, and only eat real food. And it's been 7 days of this, and people literally look, feel, and act different already.
Yeah. The
Amazing.
biggest thing too, like even besides the physical changes, everybody has said like they go during the day, they're like, like how we said last week, how it's like you don't know what feeling good feels like until
Till
you
you get it.
have it. And they were like, my energy levels are great throughout the day. I don't eat something and then I'm exhausted 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
They're like, I feel good. I'm not bloated after I eat. I'm chugging. She's like, I just want to keep copying, pasting this now. And then the great thing is too, like we said with the heavily processed stuff or the huge ingredient list, eventually your body and your taste buds begin to change, right? And you crave the Oreos or you crave the Doritos or you crave whatever it is, the super sugary cereals, because that's what your body has learned over a period of time. And it goes, I want more, whatever this chemical is that makes me want to keep coming back, I want more. And then eventually your taste buds begin to change back to like the real food. And you forget, oh my God, I'm craving an apple, or I want, a banana, or I can't wait to have, some chicken or some broccoli.
Yeah.
And your palate begins to change. And then all of a sudden, that heavily processed stuff, you have a bite of it and you're like, oh my God, this tastes like shit. Like it tastes like
It's not that
I,
great.
I can't eat 6 handfuls of this like I used to.
And also, I noticed it'll make an apple or a banana taste better because when you're competing, every time you bite into an apple, when your taste buds are all adjusted and competing with Oreos and peanut butter and all this stuff, like like if you have a bite of an apple right after having a bite of ice cream, the apple doesn't even taste sweet at all.
Yeah.
But when you eliminate this ice cream and then you take a bite of an apple, it's delicious. You go, "Oh my God, this is crazy. This is like candy. This feels." It comes from the elimination of the shit. And then it makes everything easy because if you're craving sugar, you grab some berries, a banana, an apple instead of a Snickers bar, and then it's just win-win. And you're just as satisfied. You're more satisfied actually, and yeah, it's win-win.
Yeah. I think
But
that the biggest thing, and I will think the one thing that people had the hardest time kind of racking their brain around when we started this is just because something says something on the label, on the front of it, doesn't mean that it's true. So we got like a billion questions on like protein bars. And we said, if you're
yeah,
trying to eliminate all the crap, like I had people go get either the RX bars or the Lara bars or those Epic bars that are just like a big chunk of beef jerky almost. But if you look at those ingredient lists, it's maybe 5 or 6 things, but those 5 or 6 things are all stuff that you can read. One, you can pronounce the names. Two, you know what they are, like dates, almonds, whatever it is, as opposed to getting a super duper processing where you look at the ingredient list and it has 20 things, all of them you don't know how to pronounce, super long names. That's usually a telltale sign that this is super overly heavily processed. Yes, it might still have protein in there, but a lot of the stuff that you're getting is a whole bunch of crap. They're just going, oh, we'll put a little bit of protein on this and call it a protein bar. So that way people will buy it and they'll eat it. We're not lying. It's got protein in it, but we
yeah.
never said it was, super duper healthy. But
It's
those small changes, if you are grocery shopping, always, 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 despite what the front of the cover says, check the ingredient list. And if you can see holy crap, there's a bunch of food colorings, food dyes, lists that's, 20 pages long, as opposed to something that has 4 or 5 ingredients, all stuff that that's usually a good sign that you're kind of heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's tough because, when you focus on protein, you go, what's a quick way to get protein, low calories? You go, well, here's a protein bar. And so now we're sitting there saying, well, not so fast. And it becomes frustrating. And that's when it becomes kind of too much for anybody starting out, on their nutrition guidance and goals. And there's kind of two parts, right? There is the caloric deficit part, and then there's the eating healthy part. And we talked about this one time. I just popped back in my mind. But if you're gonna have a beer, having like a small microbrew heavy beer that somebody made or some company made with real ingredients versus just like a mass produced, domestic beer. Like, yeah, technically it would be better to have those whole ingredients. Yet, like a Coors Light's 95 calories, and that small little microbrew is going to be maybe double that. So there's always two trains of thoughts with everything. Like, you need to think of calorie, like, yeah, if you're in the weight loss world, you do need to be in a caloric deficit, but at what point is it worth just having food versus fake stuff? And that's what's frustrating, that's even an option in the world, that it's even like, I mean, people's whole diets are just not real food. It's Kraft mac and cheese turning into a DiGiorno pizza, turning into chips in between, all washed down with Mountain Dews, and it's just bad. It's just wild to think about that those people, like, you gotta feel so bad all the time.
There was a side by side. I saw this a couple months ago. Some dude in Europe, like Fanta, like the orange soda, Fanta.
Yeah.
He had a Fanta from the United States, and it just looked like the regular orange pop that we drink, like super
Yeah.
bright. It looked like it was like had like nuclear radiation in it, but it was like
Yeah.
super bright, clear. You could tell it was orange pop. And then he had orange Fanta from Europe, and it looked like orange juice. Like it was
Oh,
like
really?
still orange, but like yellowish. You couldn't see through it. It wasn't clear. It looked like it was like orange juice that maybe had some carbonation in it. And
Oh,
so the guy
weird.
said, he's like, this is the difference between buying an orange soda in the United States and an orange soda that you buy in Europe. He goes, they're both technically orange sodas. And then he showed the ingredient list. It's like, this is made by the same company, but in America, it's okay that we pump in all this stuff to make it super bright, super orange, so it draws your eye at the grocery store, as opposed to you're in Europe, it's, looks more like orange juice with
Wow.
just a little bit of carbonation in it. But it's just insane. So even just something like that, you get an orange pop here as opposed to an orange pop overseas. Yes, they're both orange pops. Yes, maybe they're not the healthiest choice, but what's inside of that is completely, completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also the everything else that gets added to it, like your skin, like your complexion, your teeth, there's so much stuff in health that just gets affected by not feel and I've said this 1 million times in this podcast, but it's like a dog. Like, your dog has rules to eat. You have to give your dog food. Okay, people
Yeah.
need to eat people food, and
You
that's
can't go,
not.
here's Doritos, here's this,
We
here's some
need.
Lucky Charms, here's a Pop Tart. Your dog's going to shit all over the place.
Yeah, and it's gonna die. And it's not gonna do well. Like, we do need to eat real food. So yes, from time to time, does my dog jump up and grab whatever I'm eating? Yeah, but that's not how she's, fueling her body. She has her dog food twice a day, whatever the vet recommended amounts or whatever. So it's it's jarring, and but it is cool. It's cool how quick of adjustment it can be. And there's always like the energy dip, like with these challengers, for example, they get on this nice clean eating, and then they dip in energy. And everyone around Tuesday night, Wednesday, they get a little more cranky, and then they ask me, my energy's really low. Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? And I have to be like, no, just tough it out. And then sure enough, by Thursday, Friday,
I
they're
feel
like,
great.
yeah, it's like they're here, and then they go here, but then they come up to here. So it's like it's a little setback to really reach a new height. And then once you start being mindful of calories, if you implement a protein bar every other day, you're fine. If you implement, a cheat meal that involves ice cream or whatever, you're fine. This is fine. But
I think, like you said, with the energy dips and stuff like that, it usually takes about 3 to 4 days to rid your body, and we'll call it kind of like detoxing for lack of a better word, but to get the gunk out of you and the stuff you guys have, we said it before, but like sugar is one of the most addicting substances in the world. So let's say Monday night you have a handful of Hershey Kisses. Tuesday night comes and you're like, God, those Hershey Kisses, I really want them. Same thing, and you're never really getting the sugar out of your body. But again, usually the cravings come on the strongest, and your energy levels change when your body's kind of giving it that last ditch effort for you to go back to eating the crap that you want. But if you can tough it out and go, no, I'm going to steer clear of it, that's when you notice a big change where your body's like, okay, I got the sugar cravings out of me. I got all this processed garbage that's out of me. Now it's kind of steering clear. But my biggest advice is somebody who's like, if they need to clean up their diet and they're like, I don't know how to count calories or count macros or all this stuff, just first start focusing on whole foods. And again, things that have one word: chicken, steak, broccoli, asparagus, apple, banana. And I go, do that for a week, and you will be amazed at how good you feel. Before you start diving into what supplements and protein bars and protein shakes and all that you can kind of sprinkle in where you need to, but focusing on just the quality of the food that you're getting first and foremost. It's not always the quick and easy way, but going, okay, I'm having chicken, steak, broccoli, asparagus, whatever it is, and doing that day in and day out. It's amazing what 4 days of that, without counting a single thing, you're like, oh my God, I lost 2 or 3 pounds. My clothes are fitting looser. My energy levels are even keel. And then when you want to go, okay, I got this dialed in. Now let's take it in. How much calories should I get? What's a good protein bar to get that isn't highly processed and things like that?
yeah, it's like the right. No, you said it perfectly said. That's the real issue. It's almost like the whole foods is the real issue. Then once you master the whole foods, then we need to work on caloric deficit, enough protein, but don't just immediately swap, your Doritos for protein shakes. Like, yeah, that's better for you, but you got to have chicken and real food and whatever.
Yeah. And we touched on it too, like that weird thing I was saying. I think it was the last podcast. Like, how often do you have a apple and you
Yeah,
go, I want to have 6 more apples? They go, you
right,
don't. You have one, your body is satisfied. But how many times do you open up a bag of Oreos and you have 8 Oreo and then you end up eating 6 more? Or you
right,
do have a bag of Dorito or a chip, and then you want half the bag is gone before you know it. It's because a lot of the stuff that they pump in there kind of tricks your body into craving it more and more and more and more. When you're constantly craving stuff, that's when the scale goes up, 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 up over time.
right. I mean, I do it too. I think I gave the example of McDonald's. We only get McDonald's if we go up north. We really don't have fast food for whatever. It was just an easy adopted thing.
Yeah,
And so we only go up north, but always once we have it, once it gets re-implemented, I'm like thinking about it for the next few days. I'm like,
I
ooh,
know.
I could go for it, or maybe we hit Taco Bell, or maybe, and it's like it just reintroduce you. If it's not there, it's fine. It's not craving, and that happens on a sugar with sugar for sure. If you
Yeah.
have
But
sugar,
then you feel like crap. Like if you do have it, that one sporadic moment, like we had, where the hell were we going? Somewhere a couple months ago. Oh, it's when we had to drive up to the UP. But same thing. I think we got Chick-fil-A, and still, like when your body's not used to having it, you eat it and you're like, oh my God, this is so damn salty. I immediately feel like I was shot with a tranquilizer dart. I want to just sleep right now. And then your stomach is just, it's a wreck all day. And you're like, okay, I got it out of my system. I'm good. I don't want this for a long time ever again.
Yeah.
Such is life.
Such is life.
But what else do we got, peoples? I think those are the big ones today. I know, like I said in the beginning, diet, nutrition is probably the hardest thing for people to wrap their heads around getting started. And we've said it before. If you Google protein bars, protein shakes, health supplements, there will be pages and pages and pages. And everybody gets stuck and they go, what am I supposed to do? And if it's overwhelming, first just start with the quality of the food that you're getting in. Again, make sure it only has one ingredient. You can't fake chicken. You can't fake broccoli. An apple is always going to be an apple. But once you get to that list and you can see, oh my gosh, the ingredient list on the back has 10, 12, 15 different things. I don't know how the hell to pronounce. Usually a telltale sign that they're pumping some crap in there that's not going to agree with your body. And again, these are the things that cause you to eat, get super bloated, cause a bunch of inflammation inside your body that you don't want. So when you can get rid of that, it's you're eating stuff that's going to agree with your body, that your body knows how to process, how to break down, and voila, that's how you take away from the bloating and feeling like crap. But hopefully that helps you guys steer you in the right direction. Now, should you need anything that does help you get in shape, that is safe, that you know is not filled with a bunch of stuff and chemicals, we have the best stuff on the planet. It's all approved by the FDA, and it's safe. If you go to core4supplements.com, best part is if you listen or watch the podcast, if you type in the code word podcast, when you check out, if you want to buy a protein shake or you want to buy a vegan shake or anything at all, pre-workouts, head to core4supplements.com. Use the code word podcast on the checkout. And if you spend over $100, you get free shipping on all of it. So you get a nice little double whammy there. But that is all, peoples. That's all we got for you today. Go Lions, baby.
Go Lions, baby.
Balloons, finally, we got them back.
We got them.
And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye-bye.